And just look at that gate. It looks like it was busted down by a monster.
My name is Ben Laurence. I'm gonna rock you at least once a week. My name is Ben Laurence. Let's party.
Right now we are in Boston, Massachusetts, and behind me is the remains of the old Franklin Park Zoo. Franklin Park was established in the 1800s, but the zoo portion wasn't added until 1912. One of the main attractions at the zoo was the large bear enclosure, but in the 1950s the bear enclosure became too expensive to maintain and ended up closing in 1954. Rather than spend the money to demolish the bear enclosures, the city decided just to leave it in the woods to rot away. Come along and join us as we go and check out the remnants of the old Franklin Park Zoo. Right next to where we filmed that intro is actually some kind of enclosure. And I don't really know what it was, but there's some kind...
I know what it is. It's like Alex the Lion's enclosure from the movie Madagascar. Roar!
Like I said, I literally have no idea what this enclosure could have been. But I imagine there would have been like water in this area right here, and maybe whatever creature lived in here would have hung out up on this big rock in the middle. Let's go in there and go check it out. As you can see by peering through these trees right here, this isn't a natural rock formation. You can see the concrete parts right in there. And I'm probably touching poison ivy right now, but I don't care. So this was made by humans, most likely for the animals to live on. And there's also a tree stump right on top of there. So I imagine back in the day there would have been a tree that went up here to give the animals some kind of shade. There is also this spiky fence that lines the inside of the enclosure so nothing can get out. So getting out of here is gonna be a bit of a struggle. These things are pretty sharp, but let's see if we can get up over this thing. Oh, there's thorns on it too. All right. Made it out alive. Upon further research, I actually learned that this used to be the raccoon enclosure back in the day. After exploring that weird little enclosure, I think it's time to continue on down the path and finally go check out the bear cages. As we continue on the path, we're gonna come up to a grand staircase right here, and the grand staircase leads right up to the old remnants of the bear cage. Back in the day, the bears would have been located inside these two enclosures. Let's go check out this one first. One cool thing to note about this enclosure, more specifically this exact area, is it was used in the 2003 film Mystic River, starring Sean Penn and Kevin Bacon. Sean Penn's character's daughter was murdered, and her body was put right in that little green area right there with all those plants.
I never saw anything like that before.
What do we got? Hey, take it easy.
Other than being a place to dump your murder victims, this area was actually filled with water, and the bears would have jumped in there and played in the water back when this was a actual bear cage. It's weird to think how way back in the day, bears would have been running around here, jumping in the water, playing with each other, and now it's just empty and abandoned. These little entranceways would have been for the bears to walk in and out, and behind this wall would have been a cave. And on top of that is this really, really cool like rock sculpture thing of two bears in the city of Boston, and right there in the center it says 1912, marking the year when the Franklin Park Zoo originally opened. When I first got here, I actually had no idea what this weird little silo looking thing was with this cage, but actually I learned from Tresh that this is where they would have kept the bears' food. So the bears could have walked right up here and like stuck their faces or their snouts inside there and grabbed some food in case they got hungry. Looking at this piece of fencing, as well as this border that splits the habitat in half, I'm wondering if over in this area was a different kind of animal pen, or was this also for the bears? That's the problem with this place, is not much is known other than the fact that that area is a bear pen, and that's obvious because of the giant bear sculpture thing right on the wall. But as for this pen right behind me, I'm guessing it was maybe a continuation of the bear pen, or it could have been something completely different. But it does have that circular area that would have been used for water, as well as entrances to the inside of the dens. So here are the entrances to the inside of the den, and my guess is that all behind this rock wall right here would have been some kind of like den or sleeping area for the bears or whatever other creatures were held in this area. Inside this half of the bear cage, there's actually this giant like rock structure. And I'm guessing this would have just been a place for the bears to like run around and play, so maybe they felt like they were out in the woods or something. This is the secondary bear cage right here. And I don't know why it was smaller and why some bears were kept in here and some were kept in the other pen, but we're gonna go in despite what this sign says, because I think this was from way back in the day. I don't think it means like currently, because the door is wide open and pretty welcoming. So I'm gonna disregard that sign, and if anyone from the Franklin Park Zoo is watching and I'm not supposed to be in here, I apologize, but the door is wide open, so let's go in. This is very similar to the other enclosure we saw, but this one is just a lot smaller. It still has that circular area that would have been filled with water for the bears to play in. It looks like not only a bear was chained up here, but maybe a dog too. It also has these 3 little openings. Well, they're not openings anymore, but they were back in the day, because the bears would have gone right through these little holes and pretty much would have lived inside there. Look it, I'm a bear going inside the bear's den. There's glass in here, but I'm stepping on it anyway, but here I am. I'm a real life bear now, and the bears would have gone right in here, so I guess I can't be a full bear because I can't get in. I can't get in there, but you can hear the echo, which proves that there is something behind here. I really wish that we could get in here, but all we get to see today is this big piece of steel that has an echo behind it. It almost looks like this would have dropped down, maybe to keep the bears in here at night. And then when this place closed, I imagine they put one of those like concrete structures right there, similar to how they did this one. And this one isn't concrete, this is a piece of steel. But I imagine something like that would have been right over here, but it has since been removed, probably by vandals or just local teenagers causing trouble. One thing to note about this bear pen is that it reeks of piss. It literally just smells completely like piss. I wonder if a homeless dude was living in here at some point, because it reeks, so I'm gonna head out now. This looks like it could have been the bear's watering hole right here. It's pretty nasty though. Here, we'll wash our face with this water. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not actually gonna wash my face. That's disgusting. It's definitely not the bear's watering hole. Now we're gonna walk along the back side of the bear cages to see if we can either find a way inside or just see if there's anything cool back there. As we walk around the back side of the building, we notice this creepy window right here. I don't know how well we'll be able to see inside there. You can get kind of a peek in there. You can see where the bears would have stayed back in the day. I'm balancing on a rock, so excuse the fact that the camera is shaking here. I'll increase the lighting a little bit. Oh yeah, you can get a good peek in there. I'll see if I can get in a little closer. Damn. That is really creepy. I don't know what those like little bars could have been for. It looks like for climbing. And again, sorry if the camera is shaky. I'm literally balancing on a small rock. That's really creepy right there. On the opposite side from where that window was, there's this little door. And it doesn't look like we're getting in anytime soon, because that one's bolted to the side of the rock formation. These two are not, but it looks like it was a slider, but it's not sliding at all. This area right here would have been the second den area, and there's actually a little electrical box right there, as well as down here. There's even some exposed wires. Right around the corner here is another similar opening to like what we saw before, but this one has been blocked off with cement blocks. So there's definitely no way we're getting through that, unless we maybe if we press one of these, it might open a secret door, but it doesn't seem like any of them are gonna open a secret door. We just went down this way and explored the back side of the bear cages. Now we're gonna go down this way towards where Cool Stanley is standing. Here's another entrance into the den areas. And as you can see, just like the other one, it's blocked by a cement wall. That's kind of become my signature move lately, is just to start knocking on things. I don't know why, I don't know what purpose it serves, but I'm gonna keep doing it. If we make our way back down the grand staircase, there is actually another caged area, and we're gonna go explore it right now. This area is kind of different because it's going uphill, and it also has a lot more fencing than the other two areas. If we walk right through here, one of the first things I notice is another feeding station, as well as another little circle area right here, which would have been for water. like I have stated a few times before. But I think the coolest part of this particular cage is right up at the top of the hill. And it's this inside look into the den, which we haven't gotten anywhere else. And oh boy, a bunch of bugs just flew out at me, and that really scared me. But if we focus the camera, we can actually get a pretty good inside look at the inside of the dens here at the old Franklin Park Zoo. And they are really creepy. And what's really weird is that there's a tire inside there. I don't know why the hell there's a tire, but it's right there. And just look at that gate. It looks like it was busted down by a monster. It's so freaky. Here's another look at that water area. And it is really weird to think that water would have been down there many, many years ago. And now it's just filled with bushes and plants. It is just so weird to me that back in the day there was a polar bear standing right in front of me. And now there's just nothing. It's just an empty cage with all the memories of the polar bears and all the people visiting the polar bears. And that's like part of the reason why I like exploring these old abandoned places, because you get to sit out here and just kind of think about the fact that you are in an old polar bear cage and there's no remnants of the polar bears. Like, there's obviously no polar bears here. I wouldn't be here if there was a polar bear here. But just to sit out here and think about the fact that this was an old zoo and there were animals in this very cage, it's just so weird to me, and I think that's why I love going on these adventures. Here's just a nice overview shot of this entire caged area. I think we've seen just about everything here at the old abandoned Franklin Park Zoo. So now, we're gonna wrap this video up. Thank you so much for joining me as we went and checked out the remnants of the old Franklin Park Zoo. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to see what the zoo looked like a few years back, make sure to check out my friend Adam the Woo's video in the links down below. If you want to support future adventures just like this one, make sure to check out benlawrence.spreadshirt.com to get yourself a t-shirt just like this one. By getting a t-shirt on benlawrence.spreadshirt.com, you will be helping the channel and you will get something in return. And while you're clicking things, make sure to click the subscribe button. It's free and you can stay up to date with all of our future adventures. Right now we are in...
Sorry, having a conversation.
Oh. Oh. Franklin Park was... Fuck, how do I want to say it? Franklin Park was established in the 1800s, but the zoo portion wasn't added until 1912. Okay, yeah, I like that. Franklin Park was established in the late... No, not the late. It's... I don't know exactly when.
I think it was 1866 as well. So
Really?
don't quote me on that.
Okay,
so
I'm not going to say that. Rather than spend the money to remove the large cages, rather than spend the money to remove the large enclosed area, the city decided to leave it hidden away to rot in the woods. How should I say that? Should I say like abandoned in the middle of the woods, hidden away in the woods, left to rot in the woods? Okay. Okay. Okay, ready? Rather than spend the money to dismantle the bear enclosure, the city decided just to leave it to rot. And not only that, there's this giant, like, rock sculpture kind of thing of two bears, and then a little sculpture of the city of Boston. You can't really see it too well because of the way the sun is hitting it and casting a shadow, and there's a child screaming. Looking at this piece of fence, as well as this border splitting the inhabitats. What the fuck is an inhabitat? One thing that's actually kind of sad is the lack of fencing here. Way back in the day, this whole area was covered in fences, similar to how that area looks. Now I believe, and I've heard from a few sources, that the fencing has actually been stolen. It could have been removed by the city, but no one really knows for sure. And right here is another entrance to the inside of the bear den area, but this one again is blocked by a big cement wall, and I was trying not to fall in that hole when I just did that whole thing. All of these little archways right here would have been entrances or windows inside the bear pen. They're definitely not entrances, they're just windows. Oh baby, here's another look at that water area. It's so weird to think that back in the day water would have filled up this area, but right now there's a lot of water right there. Is it water or is it dirt? I think it's just, yeah, it's just dirt. I made a mistake. Let's try that again. Here's one of those feeding stations, and this one is pretty similar to the one we saw earlier, except this one has a tree growing in the middle of it right there. And it pops out the top like a little mushroom. And I just noticed something really weird. There's a little hidey hole over here with some rebar, and this could be some Nicolas Cage National Treasure secrets hidden in there, but I don't want to stick my hand down in there because it might be like a foxhole or something. I'm a polar bear! Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. I really, really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun going and exploring this abandoned zoo. I didn't realize how big this area was. I thought it was just one cage, but there were like 3 cages here, and it was actually really fun to explore. If you like this video, make sure to click one of the links that popped up around my faces. They lead to some pretty cool stuff, and by clicking one of them, you'll support the channel in one fashion or another. All right, I will see you all next week with another adventure. Wah!